Good morning, St. Andrews. So allow me to introduce myself. Around town and certainly here at St. Andrews, I'm often referred to as Heather Schaeffer's husband. You may be surprised to know that I do in fact have my own name, which is Sam Schaeffer. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak to you this morning. And Madison, thank you for the invitation to speak in support of the Stewardship campaign. Thank you for all the great work you've been doing on behalf of St. Andrews. I am a card-carrying member of the Lucky Schmuck Club. I've been married to Heather for 22 years now. We are the proud parents of Nora and Coley. Nora is a junior at the University of Colorado Boulder, and yes, she does go to all the games. And Coley is a senior at Rivers. I've been thinking a lot about what to share with you this morning, reflecting on what St. Andrews means to our family, reflecting on what St. Andrews means to me personally, and reflecting on why we support St. Andrews in as many ways as we can. We try our best to support this community with our time, with our love, and of course financially, which is why I'm here to speak with you this morning. Heather and I are both lifelong Episcopalians. We come from an extended family of Episcopalians on both sides of our families. Heather and I were married at the Church of the Holy Comforter in Kenilworth, Illinois. Nora and Coley were both baptized at Holy Comforter and both attended the preschool at Holy Comforter, a program called All Things Bright and Beautiful. Nora and Coley both went through the Rite 13 program and were confirmed here at St. Andrews. For me, it's about connection. St. Andrews makes me feel connected to family and to people who were influential in my life and connection to this community. It is here at St. Andrews where I feel a connection to my grandparents on my mother's side. My gran and grandp were active members at St. David's Episcopal Church in Yarmouth. My grandfather, Jack Shaw, sang in the choir and was active on the vestry. My grandmother, Nora Shaw, was deeply involved in the St. David's community. I'm willing to bet that there are parishioners at St. David's this morning that are kneeling in their pews on needlepoint cushions that my gran made many years ago. They both rest in the columbarium at St. David's. St. Andrews is where I feel a deep connection to my grandmother on my father's side. Frances Schaeffer had a deep, abiding love for St. Peter's Episcopal Church in Osterville. She was generous with both her time and financially in support of St. Peter's and that community. Heather and I visited St. Peter's recently, and I felt her presence there. St. Andrews is where I feel a deep connection to Heather's parents, Steve and Jane Coley. They are decent, kind, caring, modest, and generous people. Steve and Jane have given generously, in every sense of the word, to the Church of the Holy Comforter in Kenilworth and to St. Peter's Church in Lewis, Delaware. The Coleys set a wonderful example for Heather and me in so many ways, but their commitment to and their love for the Episcopal Church has been an inspiration to me on my faith journey. St. Andrews is where I feel a deep connection to Bob Myers, our rector at Holy Comforter in Kenilworth, Illinois. If there's any one person who I could point to who contributed most to my spiritual growth and who inspired me to be the best version of myself, it would be Bob Myers. Holy Comforter, of course, is where Heather and I were married and where Nora and Coley were baptized. Holy Comforter is where I went to think and to cry and to pray as we contemplated a move from suburban Chicago to Boston. There are people that connect us to these places. There's a community that connects us to these places. There's a spirit that connects us to these places, and there is love that connects us to these places. St. Andrews is where I come to center myself. This is where I come to find serenity. This is where I come to find wisdom. This is where I come to find courage. St. Andrews is where I'm reminded that I can do more, that I can give more of myself to others in the service of love and in the service of community. St. Andrews is where Heather and I can connect spiritually. This place and this community has become so important to her. It feeds her soul, and in turn, it feeds mine. We grow closer when we sit quietly in the pew together, and I can always count on Heather to ask me for my thoughts on the sermon, so she forces me to pay attention. St. Andrews is where I am reminded that I have more to offer to my family, to my friends, and to my colleagues, to my clients, and to my community. St. Andrews is where I remind myself how fortunate I am. St. Andrews is where I remind myself to be grateful and to not take what we have for granted. I think of the hundreds, if not thousands of people who have spent important moments of their lives in this space, celebrating a baptism, celebrating a marriage, mourning the loss of a loved one, suffering through illness, heartbreak, or contemplating a major life decision. We share a connection to all these people. That spirit, that love, that connection that we all enjoy and rely on at St. Andrews doesn't just happen. We have to work at it, and that means we have to invest in it. We all have to give of ourselves to create that spirit and that community. That requires all of us giving both our time and financially. This is why we give. It is a gift to be able to give in service to each other. We give in order to pay it forward for the benefit of others and out of respect for those who shaped us and built our community. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. We give so that we can connect. Thank you.